beautiful thing from Erasure. If you're listening, Erasure, thank you. Let's get some news now. Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Tom Hourigan. There's more turmoil for the SNP after the arrest of its treasurer, Colin Beattie. Campaigners say new guidelines limiting the installation of prepayment energy meters don't go far enough, and why a new track, apparently by Drake and The Weeknd, has been removed from streaming services. The treasurer of the Scottish National Party, Colin Beattie, has been arrested in connection with a police inquiry into the group's finances. He was detained hours before Scotland's new First Minister and SNP leader, Humza Yousaf, made his first major policy speech to Holyrood. Mr Yousaf said the timing of the arrest was far from ideal. Here's our Scotland correspondent, Lorna Gordon.
The party's treasurer, Colin Beattie, was taken into custody earlier today. A spokesperson for Police Scotland said the arrest was made in connection with the ongoing investigation into the funding and finances of the SNP. Today's developments come 2 weeks after the former chief executive of the party was arrested. Peter Murrell, who's the husband of Nicola Sturgeon, was later released without charge, pending further inquiries. Since taking over as SNP leader, Humza Yousaf has faced constant questions about how his party is being run. He said he couldn't comment on a live police investigation and has rejected calls to suspend Mr Beattie from the party.
Charities say new rules which limit the forced installation of prepayment meters don't go far enough. All energy suppliers in England, Wales and Scotland have signed up to a voluntary code of practice which protects the over 85s, people with terminal illnesses and those with health conditions that could be made worse by living in a cold home. Louise Rubin from the disability charity Scope says the guidelines should be mandatory.
The trust has been eroded because of some of the practices that we've seen. So people will be worried. And if you look at the Code of Practice, it lists certain conditions and impairments that will be exempt. But there are many, many more that are not listed. And that's where the gaps are.
2 police forces in England have been reprimanded for recording more than 200,000 phone calls without people's knowledge. Staff members at Sussex and Surrey Police had access to an app that recorded conversations on their work mobiles, including highly sensitive calls with victims and witnesses. The recordings have now been destroyed. More details from Claire Woodling.
The Information Commissioner's Office says that in 2020 it became aware of the use of the app Another Call Recorder, which more than 1,000 staff members had downloaded onto their work phones. The app had automatically saved more than 200,000 recordings. People were not informed their conversations were being recorded, and police officers that downloaded the app were unaware it was happening. The ICO says it chose to issue a reprimand rather than a fine to reduce the impact on public services. Both forces said the breach was regrettable.
Sudan's rival generals have agreed a 24-hour ceasefire following 4 days of intense fighting. It's due to start shortly. Hundreds of people have been killed or wounded by airstrikes and shelling in crowded residential areas of the capital Khartoum and other towns. An 84-year-old man in the US state of Missouri has been charged in connection with the shooting of a teenage boy who went to the wrong house to collect his younger brothers. Andrew Lester, who's white, is alleged to have shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who's black, in the head and arm after he rang the doorbell. His mother, Cleo Nagby, says doctors treating him can't believe he survived.
Physically, mornings are hard, but his spirits are in a good place. That injury is extensive. The residual effect of that injury is going to stay with him for quite a while.
A song that uses artificial intelligence to clone the voices of Drake and The Weeknd is being removed from streaming services. Matthew Carter has more.
That's why I need a one dance.
They're 2 of the biggest artists in the world. The collaboration between Drake and The Weeknd has gone viral on streaming services and social media, getting more than 8 million views on TikTok. There's one catch though. It's fake. Heart on My Sleeve was generated by AI. Its creator claims the song was made by software trained on the musicians' voices. But now it's been removed from major streaming platforms, including Apple Music and Spotify, after the star's publishers, Universal Music Group, said the song violated copyright law. It said platforms had a legal and ethical responsibility to safeguard artists. Neither artist has responded to the song yet.
Matthew Carter reporting. And the weather, largely clear across much of the UK this evening, turning a little chilly. A few areas of cloud in southern areas could develop overnight, and the chance of 1 or 2 showers in the far southwest. Overnight lows of 9 Celsius in London, 7 in Cardiff, 6 in Belfast and 4 in Edinburgh. BBC News, it's 5:05.
Tom, thank you very much.
Hey! I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod. Sarah Cox, you're welcome. Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
Coming up, find out what John from Abingdon was trying to find when he spent 3 hours walking up and down Bournemouth Pier and beaches. And did he find it? Music-wise, we've got a bit of Alison Moyet on the way. I'll blast out Pet Shop Boys next.
Well, anyway, let me say you're welcome for the wonderful world you know. Hey, it's your day to say you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.